Pranam. Welcome. Today, health is the topic. How I can improve my health through astrology. Or can astrology help me live a good life, a healthy life? The answer is perfectly yes. We need to understand how planets act on our body, which planet is responsible for what part. I will not make it very trivial for everybody or very difficult for everybody to understand, but to talk in simple terms. That whether my chart can predict my health, the answer is yes. Whether I can change it, the answer is still yes. Whether I can make it my health better, yes. Do I make it worse? Yes, most of us do that. So let's begin the talk by understanding what planet gives what in terms of health. The most important planet to consider for health is the planet Surya or Sun. Sun gives you the energy to live a good life. What is my internal energy? The internal energy is controlled by the planet Surya or Sun. Sun represents my soul, Sun represents my bones, Sun represents the internal life force that I have, what I project, the aura. Even if the Sun is weak, but I live a healthy lifestyle. By healthy lifestyle, meaning I get up early in the morning, say about 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I am out in the open where I can get the maximum sun's initial energy, the rising sun. The energy of the rising sun makes everyone healthy. The problem with today's generation is they are troubled because they sleep late, they get up late, and the planet's sun or Surya becomes weak. That means the internal life force becomes weak. They tend to get troubled easily. They are frustrated easily. They give up on life easily. Their patience is very less. Indications of a weak sun are, if you have a weak sun, even if you don't know astrology, you can look at these simple points and can understand that this is the weak sun. My enthusiasm towards things are very less. I sleep more than I need to. I have a problem getting up very early in the morning. The energy that I project is very low. And I often blame others for my miseries. In a chart, if you see, you can easily make out that sun is weak. But what to do to make my sun strong? Let's stop blaming the world for our problems. Let us get up, be strong, take an initiative, and fulfill it. You'll make your sun stronger. And last but not the least, respect the father. Respect laws and principles. Respect dharma. Other remedies are secondary. In a chart now, even if you have a weak sun or a strong sun, have a definite pattern of life. It will make your sun very strong. Next comes the most important thing to understand, which the Hindu or the Vedic astrology gives a lot of importance to, is called the man. Man has got no direct word in English. It is not the mind. It is not the emotion. It is something amalgamation of all of my intellect, my emotions, my feelings, my thought, my uncontrolled mind. My mind which is not in my control. That is represented by the planet Moon. Vedic astrology dwells very deeply into this planet called Moon because the mental health combined with the emotional health is called man. Not directly meaning the mind, but the combination of my emotional health, my intellectual health is called my man. Moon represents that man, and moon tends to sway towards more on the emotional side than on the practical side. I have to be emotionally strong to have a strong moon. The very simple indication, as we've just talked about, is if I am over emotional to certain things, my moon becomes weak. I have problems and issues with my mother, my moon becomes weak. I have difficulty facing challenges in my life. The word is sankalp. The promise that I make to myself, am I able to keep it? If I promise to get up early, if I promise to leave alcohol, if I promise to be more dedicated toward my work, if I promise to be going to the gym from tomorrow, or promise to have a good health, promise not to answer back, promise not to fight at home, promise not to argue, am I able to keep my promises? Have I the strength? If I have the strength, my moon is strong. If I don't have the strength, let us generate it. It is not necessary every human being on this earth is born with all the stronger planets. Most of the successful people are born with most ordinary horoscopes. You'll be very surprised they don't have very fancy planetary combinations, very great yogas, but they have created them. With their discipline and hard work, with their dharma, with their karma, they have changed their strength of the planet. So, friends, moon being the most important planet, let us have a strong intellectual and emotional ability so that whatever I think or whatever I promise to myself, I can keep it, deliver it, and can make my moon more stronger. Moon, the planet, is represented by mother. Take care of your mother. It gives strength to the planet moon. Love her, respect her, do all the possible duties that you can do for her. Even if you're far away from her, but still. Elderly women in the family are also represented by the same planet moon. So people who have mothers are lucky. People who don't have mothers have all elder women in the family. Respect them, take care of them, see to it that you are helpful to them in some way or the other. Next, the healthy planet comes is the planet called Mars. Mangal, they call it. Mars is the planet of energy. Like Surya is the planet of internal energy, Mars is the planet of external energy. Sorry, my body, how energetic it is. Whether I am tired working, whether I am not tired, I work 10 hours in the office and still have the energy to come back, go for a swim, again play tennis and then come back home and then still fool around with friends and keep on troubling everybody around. I am so full of bundles of energy. That energy, what you project physically, is the energy of Mars. Even if you are not born with it, you can create it. Have a very healthy life. Getting up very early in the morning and doing some sort of an exercise promotes Mars. If you have an excess of energy, then also it can balance it. This Mars is a very difficult planet. If my energy is not rightly channelized of this planet, it can give me ulcers, it can give me internal bleedings, it can cause a lot of health issues to me. Because the excess energy is not channeled properly, that can give me a lot of internal organ problems, a lot of accidents and operations happen because of the problems of the planet of Mars. So if I am high on energy and I am able to balance that physical energy, then my planet is strong, my planet Mars. But if I am low on energy, I like to sit most often, do not go out with people, talk less, get tired very easily, physically I do not do much of the activities, then this Mars can create a lot of problems for me in terms of blood, directly or indirectly, in terms of bone marrow, in terms of muscular issues, degeneration of the body, degeneration of the mind, energy not being enough to complete my day. I am sagging, lacking, always behind. Whatever I decide, I am not able to achieve. So, simple thing, the most simplest way to understand whether I am right on Mars energy is I am physically energetic. Age is not a bar. It's not that I am young, so I am energetic. Even for middle age or old people, if they are high on energy, they are disciplined, you can see that their Mars is strong. Another example of a stronger Mars is the person always looks younger than their age. So if a person is younger looking than their age and they say that this is your age and you are surprised, oh, you look much younger, then it's a good case to understand that this person is high on Martian energy. Mars is strong. If a person is very revengeful, very argumentative, overly imposing, pressurizing physically about what needs to be done, most of the time throwing his hands while talking, most of the throwing his weight around, abusive language. So you can understand that this is the example of negative Mars. Then comes the important planet for mental health in astrology is called Mercury or Buddha. The mental health. As Moon talks about emotional health, Mercury talks about mental health. Mental health is extremely, extremely important. If I think too much, there could be an airy element in my body that is increasing. I could have the problem of Vat or air related problems in my body. This results in too much of overthinking, which seldom is of no use to me. But my mind keeps on thinking. It keeps on going on with no probable reason of thinking, but it is used to so much of thinking. That is the negative impact of the planet called Mercury or Vayu Dosh or Vat Dosh. To correct this, one needs to have a stable thinking pattern. Generally, meditation helps a lot in these kind of situations where I think too much, I am overthinking. As far as the Vat element is concerned, going for regular walks in the morning or the evening can also control this Mercury issue. Mercury is a planet which is alive 24 hours. Every planet has got a daytime, a nighttime, a midnight, a midday. But Mercury is a planet which is active throughout the 24 hours. So the mind is not at rest easily. Mercury controls the veins, all the veins going around in our body, the supply, the thickness, the electric current that passes through, the blood flow that passes through. Any problem, overthinking causes a lot of issues in the brain. And directly, indirectly, it can cause malfunction of the organs also because of the nervous disorder. So, stronger Mercury makes the nervous system strong. A weaker Mercury makes a nervous system weak, which in turn weakens the digestive system. So, people who have digestive issues generally think a lot. They are scared a lot. The moment you stop thinking, Mercury tends to get a bit stronger and in turn improves your gut health. So your mind is directly related to your gut health, your digestive system. If you have a calm mind, you have a good gut. If you have a very excessively thinking mind, you have poor digestion. Mercury is represented by green color, by fresh oxygen, by flowers, by trees. Moving around in places which calms you, gives you good gut health. So people with agitated or aggressive Mercury or weak Mercury or thoughts not in their control should often go out in places which are full of green trees, full of fresh oxygen, early morning walking, early morning jog, early morning pranayam, early morning breathing techniques, early morning yoga asanas can help soothe or calm down your mind. Mercury, in terms of physical relationship, represents the maternals. So, taking care of the maternal, the mother side, the relatives on the mother side of the family, also takes care of a weak Mercury. Next in line is the important planet called Saturn. Saturn is very important in terms of health because it represents old age, it represents your bones, it represents deep thinking, and it represents discipline or dharma in your, karma in your horoscope. So, having a strong Saturn tends us to be more disciplined. Our lifestyle is clockwork. Our karmas are precise. Our karmas are always in our control. We are governed by dharmas and good karmas. Having a strong Saturn is a boon to a human life. In your past life, you have done all your work principally well to have a very strong Saturn in this birth. Saturn represents the old age, taking care of old people, donating in the old age homes, sitting down and talking and taking care of their physical health of older people in the family improves the strength of Saturn. Saturn is directly connected to the bones, so is Sun. So there is an indirect relationship between Sun and Saturn in terms of health. Saturn gives internal health to the body. Saturn gives us good, long life, a life which is not disease oriented. You live a long life and you live a healthy life if you have a strong Saturn. It gives less of disease. But a weaker Saturn on the opposite side is totally opposite to what I just said. A weaker Saturn gives you bones issue. It gives a very, very weak old age. An old age full of all the issues and problems that you can think, financial and physical. Friends who are disciplined right from a young age and whose karma is according to the dharma or the principles laid down by the elders, they have or they can make their Saturn very strong. In the young age, we do not realize what health is. We can eat whatever we like, sleep whenever we like, get up whenever we like, be awake the whole night. But this we do not know is causing our Saturn to be very weak. Sleeping on time, especially when our mind is attuned to heal our body from 12:30 midnight till 4 o'clock in the morning, this is a time that everyone should be asleep. Students, youngsters, weekend people, party goers, they are probably weakening their Saturn by sleeping very late, getting up very late. Repairing of the body is a very important part that takes place. If I am asleep by 12:30 midnight and I am sleeping till about 4:35 in the morning, 4 o'clock, 4:30, till that time the body is repairing itself. This repair causes Saturn to be strong, the bones to be very, very healthy, and to have a good and healthy later part of life. Saturn in astrology, in terms of health, represents cough. A weak Saturn can give weak lungs. A weak Saturn can give weak muscles. A weak Saturn can give lot of bone issues, issues in the teeth also, back pain, annoyingly exceeding back pain, and a poor digestive system. Saturn is a cold planet. So, if I am not disciplined and I sleep very late at night, let's say my regular time to sleep is 1:30 usually, then this planet Saturn is going to give you long-term illness. Saturn is the karka or representative of diseases which are not cured easily. Anything that goes beyond 6 years is in preview of Saturn. So people who are indisciplined are generally prone to long-term diseases. There are other planets like Rahu and Ketu and Jupiter, but we will talk about it in some other session. For this time, these important planets are to be taken care of to have a good health according to astrology. Until we meet next time, take care. Pranam.